Good morning, this is KELOLAND On the Go, with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Sioux Falls Lutheran School has reached 500 students for the first time since its founding in 1977.
To combat its expansion, the school held a groundbreaking ceremony for its new two-story high school addition Sunday afternoon. They also had a ribbon cutting for their recently completed fitness center.
So now when you go to a space like this, we are more on a par, definitely with the Sioux Falls schools and surrounding schools, but we can really have a large number of students in here working out at one time.
The high school addition is expected to be completed by early 2026. The pending arrival of the B-21 bomber to Ellsworth Air Force Base near Rapid City will mean thousands of more people moving to the area. The Air Force expects the local schools to be able to accommodate the influx of kids. In order to do that, the Douglas School District, which includes Box Elder, says they need $62 million for a new school.
Problem is they need it before the kids arrive. Senator Mike Rounds is trying to secure $42 million in federal funding and is urging state lawmakers to come up with a funding package.
B-21 is going to be a huge part of our defensive capabilities in the future. I think we should be proud to be a part of it, and I just simply would suggest that a way to show the rest of the country that we're very serious and we get how real the threat is, figure out what part of that additional remaining just for this Douglas School District should be taken at the local level and how much can the state help.
It's estimated the Air Force families coming to South Dakota in support of the B-21 will mean an additional 1,500 students for the Douglas School District, most of them elementary school age. South Dakota law enforcement is reminding drivers to be aware of kids in costumes taking part in trick-or-treating events this week leading up to Halloween. Drivers need to slow down and set their cell phones down because kids aren't always paying attention to traffic as they go from house to house. It's also important to make sure your kids are visible to drivers while they're out trick-or-treating.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission says costumes should be brightly colored or trimmed with reflective tape and be made from flame-resistant fabric. Avoid long and baggy costumes to prevent trips and falls. You should also put reflective tape on treat bags and check to see that the candy is individually wrapped. Masks should have eye holes large enough to allow full visibility. Now let's head and get a check on our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Scott?
Well, good morning. It should be a little cool when Halloween gets here. In the meantime, we are looking at a warm day today in southeastern KELOLAND. Temperatures in the 70s, maybe near 80 with a high of 78 in Sioux Falls. Cooler to the west and to the north. 70 in Pierre, 72 in Aberdeen, 67 today in Rapid City. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Leaf raking will soon be replaced by snow shoveling, and our team of meteorologists will help you navigate the season ahead. Our KELOLAND Live Doppler Winter Special will look into the role that AI plays in weather forecasts.
Plus, Scott will have his much anticipated snow prediction. Be sure to watch tonight at 6:30 on KELOLAND TV. A young SDSU football fan received a surprise while attending this weekend's game between the Jackrabbits and USD. 7-year-old Miles Hupp found out he's going on a trip to Universal Studios next year, courtesy of Make-A-Wish.
Miles is battling cancer, and while he's in Florida, he'll get to meet the Transformers, some of his many favorite characters.
Do you like Ninja Turtles? Yeah. And how about Transformers?
Transformers, Pokemon.
Pokemon, yep. How about Super Mario?
Yeah, Super Mario.
Miles received his very own SDSU helmet and a new Transformers truck as well. Miles was diagnosed with cancer last year while recovering from an explosion at his home in Fort Pierre that killed 3 of his family members.
A little girl from Sioux Falls has a big Veterans Day project in the works. 8-year-old Lorelei Onbaugh is raising money to support the Disabled American Veterans Organization.
The money will help her plant a field of flags next month at Galway Park. Lorelei says she's raised more than $1,000 already. That's enough to plant nearly 100 flags. You can help her cause by making a donation by simply going to this story right here on KELOLAND.com.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather update here as we get the new work week started. We have a winter storm watch in effect for the Black Hills. The area is shaded in yellow, running west of Rapid City on up toward Spearfish and adjacent areas. particularly above 4,500 feet in elevation. That's where a lot of that snow will be heaviest, but gets us thinking, doesn't it, about the winter season. Here's a closer look at some snow predictions. This area of purple right in here around the lead, that's a classic setup in the northern hills to pick up those amounts of 6 inches or more. Again, it's a watch. It's not a warning yet, but we're going to continue to keep you posted on that subject the next 24 hours. 60-degree weather, 70s today in the southeast, so still a mild Monday. We've got 75 in Sioux Falls at 4 o'clock. We're still going to aim for a high today at 78. We'll see how we can perform here with this southwesterly wind. Folks, in Rapid City, you'll be a few degrees cooler than yesterday, plus the thickening clouds, and then a shower chance also this evening in western South Dakota. We'll kind of watch and see how this rain comes together tomorrow. We're thinking the western quarter of South Dakota looks best on that. Sioux Falls kind of holding off on those rain chances most of the day. And in fact, the high in Sioux Falls still in the mid-70s. This front actually kind of, I would say, stalls right in the southeast here. Now, notice what's going on the weather map tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening in the Black Hills. We've got snow in the blue. We've got rain in the green areas. In the yellow, that's actually a steady rain. And then some of that will eventually expand eastward tomorrow night into early on Wednesday. Now, a couple takeaways from this map. First of all, the more broad area of rain in western South Dakota. You'll see quarter-inch totals, up to a half an inch. Maybe we get a little more than that. But also, you look at the southeast, we don't necessarily have a full map of rain here. So we do have to be a little careful on how we phrase that. Going into this drought, it's tough to break that cycle, but we should be able to break that down to some extent and bring in some patches of rain Tuesday night and early Wednesday. There'll be more to say on that. I do remain more optimistic that we'll pick up at least some moisture for most of us. 70s today, that's covering the southern half of KELOLAND, the southeast half in particular, with the winds out of the south in Sioux Falls today, 20 to 35. Tonight, low near 50 Sioux Falls, north winds and rapid, low at 34, and then we'll kick things off tomorrow with highs in the upper 40s. Rapid City, that rain to snow mix in the hills. And then look at southwest Minnesota, northwest Iowa, upper 70s and low 80s. Looks like everybody's going to see a correction on temperatures Wednesday and Thursday with that front moving through. The rain chances on Wednesday, high 54. Halloween high near 50. Looks kind of cool, breezy, the wind out of the north. And then the weekend. Well, there's some potential on the upside here to warm us back in the 60s. But again, we got to work through this first system. And I do expect here for Aberdeen in the northeast also a pretty big cool down Wednesday and Thursday. Upper 40s to near 50 degrees, and it looks like dry weather then to kick off the weekend. But there is the talk of another weather system coming in early next week. So let's see if this weather pattern starts to shake things up a little bit. Piers should be definitely cooler by Wednesday. We go from 70 today to 48 on Wednesday with the wind out of the north. And in Rapid City, we're going to be down in the 40s, not one day, but at least 2 days. And then maybe mid-50s to recover on Thursday. Check out more details online at KELOLAND.com.